Welcome to Career Journeys, a series of videos by the Consortium for Public Education. Here we explore the career experiences and pathways of professionals from a wide variety of careers to help you think about the skills you'll need and the paths you might take after high school.
Hi, I'm Debbie Pixton with the Consortium for Public Education. Today I'm interviewing Melissa Lipcamon, Senior Manager of Accounting Policy and Transaction Support at Accenture. Thank you so much for joining us, Melissa.
My pleasure.
So Melissa, tell us about Accenture and your role there. What do you do as a Senior Manager of Accounting Policy and Transaction Support?
Yeah, so Accenture is a global professional services firm. We offer strategy and consulting, interactive technology services with a focus on digital, cloud, and security. My role is within the corporate functions department for the public company. So it's not a consulting role. It's more on the management side. So in my role as a senior manager of accounting policy and transaction support, I'm focused on helping implement new accounting standards and interpret them, and also working with our finance teams to structure our transactions in a manner that meets both our commercial and our economic objectives while remaining compliant with our accounting guidance. So that's my technical role description, and that does describe what I've done for much of the time I've been in the role. However, I've had the opportunity to work on some projects, including the one I'm currently working on, which really takes me outside of the technical accounting space, which is kind of nice. It's still in the reporting space, but it's more focused on environmental, social, and governance aspects of responsible business, which is becoming more of a topic, I think, for a lot of large companies. I think it's a great example of how a role that you step into can evolve, where you can both leverage your skills and the skills you were hired for, and in working on other projects.
Tell me a little bit about how you got to this role. Can you tell us a little bit about your career path from high school?
In high school and then throughout college, I had the opportunity to take various internships, which were a great opportunity for me to start understanding skills that are important in any business workplace, not necessarily specifically accounting. And it also allowed me to understand what I did and did not like about certain aspects of business and accounting jobs. And so then coming out of college, I took probably a relatively traditional path in joining a Big Four accounting firm. I joined PricewaterhouseCoopers as an external auditor, and I spent almost 5 years there working for various large publicly listed companies as their external auditor. That allowed me to really develop a great base of skills, both applying my technical accounting knowledge that I had learned in college, but also developing a lot of soft skills that you start learning in college, but really can't be fully developed until you're out and actually working on the job and learning from those around you. And that really led me to a place to understand that maybe public accounting wasn't for me long term. While I certainly value the experience, I was interested in being more on the business side of it. So I decided to take a lateral move, which some might find interesting coming out of public accounting, but I found an opportunity in international internal audit. And the next 2 years were spent traveling the world and performing audits of various manufacturing plants and finance locations for Abbott around the world. And that experience was less technical in nature, but provided a great opportunity for developing even more soft skills and the ability to learn how to work with people around the world who have different cultural priorities and different ways of working. So it made me really open my mind to how you need to work with people and bring people together. And then from there, Abbott actually spun off a part of its business. And so I took a role to help analyze transactions and account for them. But because it was such a small group that was growing, it was kind of all hands on deck. So I got to do some other things around reporting that weren't part of my role. So fast forward a couple of years, and I decided for lifestyle reasons that I wanted to make a move. I was commuting a lot in that role, so I wanted to look for a job closer to home. And in doing that, I found a role at Accenture, which is where I am today.
So, if I'm a student in high school and I'm thinking about a career in accounting specifically, or maybe in business more generally, what kinds of questions should I ask myself to know if that's going to be a good fit for me?
Do I enjoy working with numbers, analyzing numbers? I while I say that that isn't everything I do, it certainly isn't. It is the base of most accounting careers. So I would say you need to have some level of interest in that. If you're, not a numbers person at all, maybe a career in business administration, that still could be something that you might want to explore, but maybe not so much accounting. But the other thing I would say is, do you like to problem solve? Are you a critical thinker? That's something that's really important and I think underestimated when you're thinking about a career in accounting. You do have to understand the nature of business and the nature of accounting. You are going to spend a lot of time, working in an office, working with people, perhaps over video calls as we're in our current environment, over emails, drafting reports. Those are things you're going to have to do. So I think that you need to make sure that you're okay doing that. And then I think from there, you can really forge the path that you want to forge. So if you want to be the person that continues sitting in a reporting role, and doing that and spending less time maybe communicating with other people, and maybe working on more project type based work like I do, you can do that. Or if you really want to kind of use that base to launch yourself into a different role, you also can do that. But just making sure that you're interested in that core set of principles is important to launch your career into accounting.
Melissa, what's one final piece of advice you would offer for students who are considering pursuing a career in accounting or a related field?
It's about the journey. I always hated the question, and even today, that people would ask when they say, where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? I never knew how to answer that question. I know what I like right now, and I know that I want to be challenged. And so I'm going to look for a role that's going to fulfill both of those requirements for me today. And I'm going to be open-minded. If somebody asks me to step up and take on a project or take on a role that expands beyond what I was hired to do, if it sounds like something I'm interested in, I'm going to say yes, because I don't know where that's going to lead. Okay, and so I think it's important about being open-minded and really approaching roles and decisions to move into different roles from a perspective of, is this going to challenge me? Is this going to develop additional skills for me? Even if you don't know how you might use those skills in the future, it's a building block. And so just approach your career like that. And you never know where it's going to lead, and it's probably going to lead to something that you could have never dreamed of. But just always make sure you're challenging yourself, and that you're looking to just expand your knowledge and broaden that skill set. As you progress through high school, as you approach university, and you work through whatever course it is, you're taking to support your major, it's really important to build that base of knowledge, but don't underestimate your development of soft skills. I would say that the ability to communicate both verbally and in writing is critical. And I don't think that I appreciated that as much as maybe I do now, going through university. I think that can really help elevate you in your career and help make sure that you can articulate the value that you can add in your current role to whomever you're working with.
Melissa, this has been really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and experiences with us today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
For more information or to learn about other careers in the Career Journey series, visit our website and check back soon for our next installment. Thanks!